Hello, gentle fish. So I'm decided I'm going to start streaming some of the, not streaming, casting, I guess, some of the tournament games that have been going on. So I chose this one at round 1, Babel Gun versus Xenon Gun, a clash of two cannons, Poles versus Germans. Hopefully it doesn't go like it did historically, but we'll see how it goes here. So we'll just quickly get into the deployments. And then once the game actually begins, we'll get a quick analysis of where they're going. I think that provides a little bit more insight rather than strictly going over what the starting unit comps are. So, I mean, we've got Babelgun at 17th SS and Xenon as the Poles on, this is the 1v1 Omaha map. So, I have a feeling Poles are going to feel a little bit constricted here. There's no real big open fields. We have, like, this area, which is, it's kind of open, but it's still all within, like, not even 800 meters. What's this tree to the other tree line over there? That's maybe 1,000 meters. That's maybe the furthest big distance. And you tend to have people fighting around here a little bit. But then we get this real tight, close range engagement along this road between this city, and this little village with orchard along it. And on the bottom of the map, we get this road usually becomes a big choke point coming around. People tend to fight a lot over this area. And you get even less. Like, this is kind of an open area here. Open-ish, I should say. That people can maneuver around that doesn't exactly have direct roads to it. And not many people fight over this, so I'd be really interested to see if this becomes a hotbed of fighting. Like, I think once Blue takes this village, Red has a tougher time getting back into it, and once Red takes all the way out to these hedges, especially this area right here, it's much harder for Blue to take out this area and to defend this village here. So let's keep going, because you get some excellent vision from out here. See basically everything that comes down this road. So yeah, alright. Let's get down into it. Shouldn't be too much longer before... There we go. Alright, so... Babelgun's playing a 17th, so we get a lot of Panzer Grenadiers and so forth, and then we also are going to get a Stug, and what looks to be some kind of artillery piece that's not being towed. Okay. One more thing for Eugen to add into the game. So down here we're going to have some Stostrup. I'm pretty sure that's what the 1-star vet and ones are. And then, yes, they should be Stostrup. KFZ 70 is probably going to be Panzergrens, something along those lines. More Stostrup, another Panzergren, MG42. And we bring a commander along here, and this is going to be a Pak 38 or something along those lines. But we could probably just go look at it. It's actually a Pak 40. Alright, so he's bringing this little battle group. Okay, so this is going to be the Pak 40 deploying here. He's going to have some great covering, like, of all this area over here with the Pak 40. And then I'm guessing Stostrup and Panzergrenadiers, and then the command Führer in the back. That's pretty good. And what's that actually going to go up against? That's going to go probably up against this little grouping. So there's a lot more dudes piling into this area right now. For the Poles, he's brought up Cromwell 5. If it's a Jeep and 30 cal, it's probably just 2-man recon. These are probably Strelcy, a commander, Vickers gun, and what is this? A Polston? Tri-Polston? That is a Polston. All right. So we see what's going to happen here. There's probably some recon here, and he's sending the recon out or the truck out that way. This might be the Polston, and then a bunch of different infantry dropping off up here. Interesting. Cromwell not have command? you forgot to add the Cromwell as a command. Alright. I was wondering what that was going on. So yeah, that's Polston. And then we get a few more dudes here, some recon, and looks like Streltsy and another commander to cover down here. Interestingly, there's not a single thing going to the south for the Poles, which Babelgun invested about 100 points into the bottom here. Around here, this is probably the MG42 going here. Be really surprised if it wasn't. It's not. The Panzer guns are going into the center. Interesting. Alright, so he's going to send the MG42 into this building and kind of hold this area against nothing. But of course he doesn't know that. And then he's also sending Stilstroop here, which I'm not a big fan of Stilstroop in these little tight corners, but we'll see. Okay, so we know the middle here is going to be a big point of contention. Babelgun has really decided he wants to fight up here. So it's a holding force down here, and then Xenon Gun has decided this whole part of the map right here doesn't exist, and Babelgun can have it. That appears to be the case. We'll keep going up here. Babelgun's bringing up. Looks like Stolstrup, MG42 is Stug. This is going to be a really good unit on Phase A for him. And then, well, it could either be a mortar or like an IG-18, which is interesting because you haven't seen any IG-18s so far. But I'm pretty sure IG-18s come towed. And then what Xenon Gun's sending into the city is just a Vickers gun, a 2-man recon team, and his commander. So yeah, let's get this going. I think Babelgun's really going to notice this big sweeping push of the line up here, and hopefully he takes advantage of it and keeps moving his forces. No, he's not going to keep doing that. It's unfortunate, but anyway, we get the first little engagement. Xenon Gun's obviously going to notice this Stug. He probably saw the MG42 and Stolstroop as they unloaded, and yes, that was in fact an 81mm mortar. This is a Pack 38. Wow, that actually looked like a really big model on the ground. Which is going to kill this little Jeep really quickly that he was using as a scout. The 2-man recon team's going to die to the MG42, probably an extra HE shot from the Stug, and we're going to start seeing some more P-Grens coming at the bottom. Interesting, he's not pushing up this MG42 to like one of these hedgerows, but he must have some reason for that. Stolstroop not moving up yet either. Panzer Grenadier didn't actually get in the building? No, they're actually in the building. Okay, and then Babelgun's going to keep pressuring with his close-range infantry, Stolstroop, and bring up Panzer Grenadiers to keep some of these lighter vehicles and enemies at bay. Interestingly, the Stug's not moving up anywhere. These Stolstroop aren't moving. I haven't seen any play out of the mortar yet, full rounds. I would have expected this mortar to start firing very shortly. We start seeing these Vickers guns and the Streltsy, but maybe he's just a little focus on his micro. So we got more Panzer Grenadiers. These Panzer Grenadiers are going for the center. These Panzer Grenadiers are going to push all the way up to try and hold this city area. We have some Stolstroop that instantly annihilates some Streltsy, because Streltsy, as we know, are pretty bad with their only one Sten gun to the Stolstroop's 18 HE at 100 meters. But unfortunately, Stolstroop do die, just like every other infantry on the move. And when they're moving and not in cover, bad things happen. But I'm still not seeing any fire out of this mortar, which I think could be really, like, it would really help if he fires. Oh, finally, we get some fire out of the mortar. Probably going on to one of these Vickers guns, maybe just the commander. That's the only thing he currently sees. Maybe these Streltsy in the open. And Xenon Gun's starting to make a little bit more of an advance in the center, which does not have that much here. Although I haven't seen this Cromwell 5 do anything. So whether he's just relaxing or trying to avoid getting shot at by this Pack 40, which has actually really abysmal sightlines right now due to it being falling back from the Streltsy. Here we go. We're starting to see the Cromwell 5 up. He's using it reactionarily and just bringing it backwards, although I'm not really sure why. He probably could just sneak it in here and begin to like take pot shots at the Stug, but that probably is a bad idea with that 3 Stug in front of it. But we'll see. Interestingly, he brings up a Sexton. That's kind of an odd choice, I think, when you're behind and you're. I don't think he needs artillery. Maybe another Cromwell. Yes, this Cromwell 6 version tank would have done him better, but we'll see. The first of the IG-18s is here, and some more Stillstroop, and he still has his mortar firing back at where those Streltsy were. That's really unfortunate. You might even kill his own Stillstroop squad. That's really unfortunate. But the Stillstroop have cleared out most of the city. Panzer Grenadiers are securing it. We have a little infantry commander engagement here, which I have no idea who would win this fight. This is like a battle between two cripples. Okay, so the IG-18, Pak-38, whatnot, can clear out some of these light vehicles. Polston's actually in a really bad position. He's not going to have any line of sight to spot up aircraft. And then we got a cheeky Stug firing at the Cromwell in front of it. I guess that was just a little bit of an unfortunate situation, having this Cromwell sitting back here. The Stug is going to be very difficult to deal with unless he can suppress it in some way, shape, or form. And maybe a plane would actually be a good idea in order to do that. Sexton still hasn't fired much. He fired 2 shots. I guess I fired at the 81mm mortar. Which makes sense considering it's stressed and damaged right now. Battlegun's bringing up some more recon, as well as Panzer Grenadiers, and some more Stillstroop to steer the city area. Hopefully makes some use of these Stillstroop, pushing out the rest of these buildings here. In the center, nothing's really going on, just some recon engagements. The bottom of the map, this is unfortunate for Battlegun not bringing any kind of recon infantry down here, and not seeing what he saw at the start of the game, where this whole area was really like under his command from just these 2 units down here. So he probably could have brought something out here to keep up the fight there. But there's this big meat grinder going on up here. Not really much going on for Battlegun's units, but all these Streltsy. The Streltsy just keep melting. And this is really not a great place for the Poles to be fighting. It's all close range engagements. No place for Phase A Cromwells to really do anything. That's unfortunate. And again, we see the light vehicle drop here, but I wonder if Battlegun's going to see how egregious the hole is and maybe move up his MG42 again, or his Stillstroop, and bring up maybe even another MG42 or an IG-18 just to feel it out, push up a little further. Not really, like I said, there's not really much going on here. We see a few little Streltsy and so on making their way forward, but really it doesn't end up being much fighting over here, and I'm surprised people don't fight more over it. Because usually the city ends up being a slugfest. So the Sexton we see is pounding away at this cluster of stuff. I don't know exactly what it's firing at. I guess we could find out. Nope, we can't really. What else? Either another mortar or maybe an IG-18. It's probably an IG-18 considering it's Vet 1. MG42, another IG-18 coming up. Seems like he's really trying to squeeze out here. Still, nothing just advancing here. He's just kind of sitting it up. And just, it's relaxing seeing this, these units being purchased down here, so that Xenon gun has, to push back this egregious bulge of units that not of units of land that's really kind of hurting him, it looks like. In the center, we just got Streltsy pushing forward. There's a Streltsy unit isn't going to do anything for this. What I think we're really looking for is, oh, this is unfortunate. The Stuart not getting the kill on the Stug, and this Cromwell hopefully. Yes, we do. We get a good kill from the Cromwell onto the Stug. Now, hopefully, our Polish player is going to be able to fight out here a little bit more, although this Stillstroop squad, all he's got to do is pop out of the open a little bit, drop a smoke grenade. He doesn't even need to do that. These guys are going to die. These guys may or may not die. I guess the Cromwell will finish them off. But this was a nice little play here. Noticing that the Stuart was in a really poor position. I would have liked to have seen a smoke grenade go off, but here's what it is. Again, nothing's really going on here. I guess Battlegun's very content to hold the front line. He does have a +2. So he's going to be ticking for a very large chunk every time. Interestingly enough, these guys didn't really push forward very far before they unloaded. They just unloaded exactly where Xenon Gun decided to have them unload. We see some more fire from the mortar. The mortar's almost out of ammunition. That's good. We see a lot more mortar play than we were seeing before. Battlegun's just slowly pushing up some of those units that were behind here. Xenon Gun, you know, this Cromwell, unfortunately, he's going to die, I think, to the Pack 38. With a shooter knocked out crit, there's not really much. Yeah, unfortunately. We might just get lucky. That bounce was, oh, no, side shot. Engine destroyed. It's toast. Yeah, not really much you can do about it. Oh, except finally start artying it. Maybe he was trying to prepare this arty barrage for a little while, but yeah, you missed out on that opportunity. Yeah, right now there's literally little chance for Xenon Gun. As you can see, there's still 10 more minutes left in the game, but I'm just gonna fast forward it a little bit more until we start seeing some interesting plays happen. Right now, I think Xenon's way behind in material, if you just look on the map. And now that it's phase B and C, you're going to start seeing the 17th SS get better infantry, not better, but more infantry, some armor like these Panzer IVHs. Oh, and he brings out a Ju-87G, which is just going to ruin some vehicle stays. Unfortunately, Hurricane was purchased by the Polish player, which means I wonder just how much extra points he had banked up. Maybe he just had that from his latest tick, because I think you can buy those Hurricanes for 110 points. But we'll see. Again, really not much going on. Just some stealth scoops clearing some dudes up here. Start to finally see these Streltsy push forward on the bottom of the map. Not really going to get much further, though, with this Panzer Grenadier in a building. In the center of the map, more Panzer Grenadiers in a building, just suppressing units, but they're not going to be able to withstand the sustained fire of all these universal carriers. That's a lot of Bren guns. And, yeah, they're either going to die quickly or just be suppressed, and it turns out they're going to die first. But now we have the Panzer IV-H Commander brought up here, which will pretty much ruin everybody's days. However, this AT gun, oh, it ends up getting spotted probably by this Aufklärer. Very nice. More fighting on the bottom. Panzer Grenadiers at range. Nothing can beat that. Really, nothing can. And the Polish player is starting to play more down here. We have Stealth Troop chasing around the Sexton. A little bit of an air duel. But, yeah, I think, yeah, not the best. It looks like that's about the end of the game. I guess that Panzer IV-H must have died, probably to the Sherman. Looks like he did expel a couple rounds. But, yeah. This was an interesting game. I think Xenon and Babel both played very well. But Xenon, I think, made the wrong choice of where to fight. And ended up playing a lot more reactionary. Without making some better unit choices for how to deal with that Stug. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, 17th doesn't have any Phase 8 fighters, so the Polish player can kind of use that to his advantage in Phase 8 to make that Stug kind of vanish, as it were. Anyway, let's keep going through the kill lists. Polish player... You know, the Cromwell actually did kill that Stug, which was very nice. Hurricane got into Ju-87G, always very nice. And the Sexton did some work, but not much ended up happening. Staghound killed the Panzer IV-H, that's crazy. Yeah, this Stug. He didn't, the Polish player didn't have any real way to deal with it. That's really unfortunate. At the start of the game. Oh wow, the Stealth Troop did end up running down a Sexton. That's crazy. Yep. Okay, thank you guys for watching. Yeah, let me know in the comments whether or not you liked this kind of casting style. I don't know. This is really like my first cast ever, I think. Probably. So, yeah. Alright, thanks a lot, guys. Bye.